It's really important to supplement horses' salt every day to keep them healthy. Most of the equine Vit&Min products don't have salt in them, and those that do don't contain a full serve of salt, so there's not enough there to satisfy a horse's daily requirements. How much does a horse need? Horses need somewhere between 7 to 12 grams of salt per 100 kilos of body weight. So if we work on 10 as a nice even number, a 500 kilo horse is going to need 50 grams of salt a day. Now there'll be some salt in the grass or the forage that the horse is eating, and the rest of it we need to supply. There'll also be some in pellets and hard feeds that you provide, especially if you're using a pre-mixed feed. So you need to take that into account when you're doing your sums. Most of the diets that I look at, horses tend to need somewhere between 20 to 40 grams of salt supplemented into their hard feed as maintenance per day. On days when horses have sweated a lot due to extremes in temperature or hard work, they can need more, even as much as 120 grams a day for a horse that's sweated a lot. So the best way to supplement salt is by physically adding it yourself, by the gram or by the spoonful, if you know how heavy your spoonful is, directly into the hard feed. I try to put the maintenance level into the hard feed like that, and then provide the horse free choice access to salt to top up. A salt lick is okay to top up if the horse isn't going to need too much, but they tend not to stand around and lick for long enough to consume the salt that they need. These mineral licks tend to be really only useful as a form of salt. And again, you have the same problem, they'll only lick for so long. So loose salt is the best way to supplement free choice salt for horses. You really need to have a sheltered area to store your free choice loose salt in. Something like this can go into the corner of a shelter or a stable, or even under a tree if you really don't have anywhere completely waterproof. I tend to put in a small amount and keep it fresh so that the horses want to come and eat it. So if it gets too dirty, tip it out and start again with something nice and clean. These salt stations here can be used either for your blocks, and they can go in, they get a little bit of weatherproofing that way, but even better to have your loose salt directly in there, like so. This has got a drain hole in the bottom, so it's fairly weatherproof. Now, what sort of salt? Well, salt is sodium chloride, but it comes packaged in lots of different forms. It's still sodium chloride. Table salt, just ordinary table salt, is sodium chloride. You can buy iodized salt, but if your horse is using a supplement like Equine Vit&Min, it won't need the extra iodine in iodized salt. So avoid that and just stick to the plain salt. Cooking salt is also sodium chloride. Rock salt is also sodium chloride. Himalayan salt is sodium chloride. It just has a few other minerals in there in insignificant proportions in terms of meeting the horse's requirements, by the way, but that cause the colour to change. Mineral licks, cheap ones, are basically mostly sodium chloride. You can also buy salt from your produce store. They'll sell it as flossy salt. This one is their coarse salt grade, or you can buy it listed as stock salt. This is a salt lick, a large one that weighs 20 kilos. Again, it's okay as a top up for hot days, but it's not going to give your horses enough salt to lick from for maintenance. Pool salt is often the cheapest way to purchase bulk salt, and it's perfectly safe to feed. It's still sodium chloride, which is what horses need to maintain their electrolyte balance, which keeps them drinking when they're thirsty and prevents dehydration. Always make sure that you've fed salt before you feed an electrolyte.